Fellas, ladies, you're looking for lotions, you're looking for beard oils, but unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
All right. We are live.
Welcome, those near and far that will be joining and or listening. We do thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome. My brother, the Fat-tacular Show.
My brother Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter, but in this world, his opinion does matter.
And we're about to get into this gun talk. This will be our first
The
official
first of many.
mini gun talk conversations around the firearms. This is going to be a different. Hopefully, Justice Runs on Diesel gets a chance to come in. If I see him in the chat, then I'll just send a link through the chat where he can jump in or whatever.
Right.
But for now, you have us two. And we're going to do what we're going to do.
And that's the beginning. That's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
Oh, man. Jay, I mean, we both kind of, I'm a gunhead. And I know you, you do your thing too and stuff like that. I mean, I might have took it to a little bit of a different level, but we both are gunheads. So
yes, definitely so.
I don't know, it's funny because I know I run drills every once in a house, once in a while in my house.
Right.
Like most of the time when I'm in the house by myself, like I will I will run a drill as if I would assuming that someone's in my house when I come in, and I will run a drill.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you're running it by yourself?
All right, so sometimes when I come in the house and
right,
you know how you have squad to come in the house and they clearing out rooms just to make sure.
Very well, yeah.
All right, so I run simulations in my head that I think about in my head, but I physically run the simulation in the house when I come in the house every once in a while, just to mentally prepare myself that if I ever run into a situation where someone's in my house and I don't know it, or what will be my reaction, or what will be my, you know what I'm saying? How would I react? How would I position myself, even if I'm in the house?
Right.
And someone comes in the house,
right,
and I'm already in the house, I run them that way too. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, and that brings up a whole lot of curiosity. I mean, the first question I got to ask is, that's kind of defeating the purpose because you're the one creating the scenario. So if you create the scenario, you already know what to expect if you create the scenario.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I just, you know how there's a difference, in my opinion, it's different between something being a little more natural where you know where you're going to be at, you know where you're going to move at in your house. Like if someone come in your front door or someone come in your back door, you hear them, let's say you got a 2-story house and you hear them approaching. Where would you position yourself? Where would you stand?
Right.
What would be like that type of scenario? And even, so I know it might seem weird, but I actually does it.
I mean, I understand the logic behind it.
Yeah.
What I don't get is you're still creating the actual scenario. So you already know how to respond to the situation before it even happens.
Right. I know.
You know about it.
Right.
Now, I understand what you're doing.
Right.
And I commend you for it. Again, it's just like you said, it sounds weird because you already know the beginning, the middle, and the outcome.
Right.
So now, if you was to say to me, you have the family in the house, and you telling the family how to prepare, and you being the assailant coming in, they don't know what you're gonna do, where you're gonna come in through, what you hold. Then that's the drill for them.
Oh, I do that too. I do that too, but most of the time it's me. I do it with both, but I also do it a lot of times by myself.
Right. Okay.
Because there have been times that I've done it, and I thought that something was a better way to do it, and then something else hit my head and said, you know what, this might be better.
Okay.
And what happened was, and sometimes stuff happened without you, would teach you stuff without it actually trying to teach you.
Yeah.
This you know what I'm saying? Like, I give a case in point. Something that happened in the front door was accidentally left open, right? And I came downstairs and I'm like, why is the front door open? But it wasn't like a big deal, but I was like, okay, now I gotta still think in that brief moment, did somebody come in my house? I don't know.
Which is
typical, right? Right. So now I'm in, I gotta go check.
Right.
But just so happened my lady had left a box in front of the door of the basement.
Okay.
You go down the basement. So I looked on the floor and I seen the box there. I said, well, I know ain't nobody go down that basement because you're not going to be able to put that box back there.
Right.
So I was comfortable with that, and it kind of taught me something like, you know what? That box is going to stay there.
To trip up whoever walks in the door.
Right. Because if I see that box move,
what up, Dover?
What's up, Dover Dogs? I said, if I see that box happen to be moved and then somebody went down that basement and didn't put it back. I mean, of course, if it's moved, then that's going to tell me something. And if nobody's here but me, then I know for sure somebody went down in that basement because it ain't rolling. You know what I'm saying? But that was just saying in general. So that was something I wasn't thinking about. And then because of the incident and that happening, because my first instinct is if somebody's here and they're trying to hide, they're going to go in the basement and try to hide.
This is true.
Right. So I'm like, oh, well, the box haven't been moved. So you can't get down that basement without moving that box. And you won't be able to put the box there back if you're trying to shut the door.
Right.
So it kind of taught me something there. It was like by accident more so, but then it kind of changes my scenario of what to look for if I happen to come in the house and something just seems off.
Well, that's a good idea. And I understand that point because of course you have everything set a specific way in the house. So you already know that when something is moved, you just like, hey, wait a minute, what happened? What went wrong? I mean, it happens to me too, Yeah. And I think what happens there is it gives you a sense of understanding that you have a way of keeping the house set. And even if your family member moves it, you're going to go into that phase of what is in the house, who's in the house, and stuff like that. Which that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing because what happens is that you, in your mind, you start running these scenarios and the scenario, what you're expecting doesn't wind up being what it is.
Right.
That's why sometimes a lot of people, back in the day, and maybe even still now, I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't read about it because I try to stay away from it. Actually, no, that's not true because I heard about it 3 months ago where when people like that, because I understand your point, I really do.
Right.
It's just a little dangerous because when you have weapons in the house and something gets moved in your house, your immediate reaction is grab the weapon and then search. Okay? That's pretty much what you're doing. You're going to grab the weapon and you're going to search.
Right.
The moment you hear noise, you being an avid person that has weapons, you pretty much understand why you do what you do. And you already have that knowledge. This is where those type of gun classes and weapon training is necessary because you have to be prepared for situations like that. And what tends to happen is that I've heard about it, and I recall being present 2 separate times where the person inside the house shot the live-in person that they were with because they saw. Don't look, don't scream, don't try to look for the other person. Just go search. When you hear something, that's when you advise. You hear nothing, you fire. That's the normal reaction. That's why they say it's very necessary for you to take them classes. And what tends to happen is that the person doesn't take the class, and the person winds up, unfortunately, unaliving someone because they're not skilled or trained the right way.
Right.
And I know in Jersey, there was a moment, I think it was Jersey, I could be wrong. A woman came up to the door of another woman. No, matter of fact, there's two different stories because they're pretty much exactly the same. A child went to a person's door. The person turned around and fired. Person inside the house turned around and fired through the door again, hitting the mother. In Jersey, there was a moment where a person went to the wrong house because they had the wrong street, but they had the right name. The street, instead of like the avenue, it was road or court. Oh. They went to the wrong door and they got shot as well from the door. And of course, there was another moment where a woman turned around and killed the woman just because she said, "Oh, I was in fear for my life. I was on the other side of the door, and this, black woman was banging on my door." That, on the other hand, is a whole different ball game. It comes back down to training, right? Yeah. And of course, learning what it's all about. So, with your situation, I understand why. Yeah. I'm just a little hesitant when I hear drills being done self drills. Yeah. Well, and the reason I say that is because you pretty much know what the outcome's going to be. You know how it's going to start, where it's going to start, what's going to happen. Is that you or the AI just getting upset with what we're saying already?
Yeah, I guess I don't know because it keeps freezing. Like every once in a while, you freezing, and
it's most likely the AI. So we're gonna switch up the verbiage a little bit because the AI is trying to figure out what we're talking about.
One thing I don't do is I don't have no firearm when I'm doing it.
Okay.
I don't, and it's more so just knowing your house, knowing things that are in your house, looking for if something was to happen, best place to position yourself if something was to happen. It's not so much about having a firearm in my hand because I don't have the firearm in my hand when I do it. It's more so just, and then sometimes it's like, all right, while we're on the subject a little bit is, depending on the house, what would work better if you had to defend yourself?
Right.
Like, what would be, most people would say a handgun because they're easy to maneuver around. You don't have that long barrel to try to swing and turn and stuff like that. But the problem sometimes with handguns is just like rifles, unlike shotguns, they travel.
True. True. And I'm gonna let you finish.
They have a tendency to continue to travel. Unlike, like a shotgun is more of the most damage is is more so depending on the first maybe 15, 20 yards. That's your damaging. After about 20 to 25 yards, you still can get some real damage. But depending on what you're using, right? Between a slug or buckshot and birdshot, whatever it is, a different. Now, birdshot, they don't call it birdshot for nothing, but
yeah. That's why slugs are better.
If you want to hurt somebody real bad, but more likely probably not going to kill them. Howard said, "I have a shotgun by the bed."
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean,
ain't not a damn thing wrong with that. Sitting right there. And then,
like if you had kids, like sometimes when the kids come here, I have to change everything up. Like everything goes away.
Right.
Everything is locked up. Like I have my safe. Everything gets locked up. When I'm leave the house, everything's locked up. Except for what I take for me, everything is locked up.
Right.
I don't leave stuff laying around. When I'm home, that's different. But when I'm not here, everything goes locked up. I mean, but if grandkids come by, stuff like that, everything goes away, put away, locked up, and that's it. And just because that's a safety precaution that I always take safety precautions and stuff like that.
Right.
I might still have mine by my bed, but it's not set in a way where anyone could use it. You know what I mean?
Understood.
But and that's it. If there's one, it's only one by me, and it's not in a way where someone can get their hands on it and use it, and any other than myself. I don't like that because that's uncomfortable, but it's a safety precaution that I have to take because kids move around and sometimes while you're sleeping you don't know what they're doing.
True. Welcome, Ben.
It's a safety precaution I have to take. But
that is a wise one. Especially when the kids come over.
I mean, it does put you at a disadvantage because that if something was to happen, now it's creating more steps for me to get ready. But I'd rather have the more steps to get ready and then have an accident than I didn't have an accident.
Right. And that comes back to how we were talking about when in the beginning of the show where it comes to your drills. So that's a moment where your drill now has a loophole in there that you may have to figure out what is the best scenario, not only when you have the grandkids in the house, but how to actually protect everyone in the event with grandkids in the house. So that's another scenario that you should really look into as far as coming up with ideas. How what we got here? I'll keep all three close to my bedside. I want a bigger pattern, and it's just me and my wife now. I put it in the cabinet during the day. Well, welcome Anthony and welcome Howard once again.
Yes.
The first thing we have to understand is you can have as many weapons as you want next to the bed. You can have one. You only able to grab one.
Maybe two. You want to act like you cool.
That's a strong maybe. Because we got to understand that in a scenario, it's easy to say what you're going to do, right? Because that's what you want to do. Yet in the actual event of the scenario, every logical thing that you thought of is out the window.
It's going to go out the window because now you're being reactive.
Exactly. And the easiest way for someone to understand that is if anyone has children and the first time your wife or your significant other was pregnant, and she said, we got to go to the hospital, the water broke, just think of how you reacted at that moment. You have everything set. You had the car, the clothes, the hospital, the route, everything. But the moment that water breaks, it's like, your brain goes into haywire. So when you hear something in your house break, and the first reaction is grab and search, you have to take 30 seconds before you search.
The pregnancy thing, that was an easy one for me because when it happened, I just said, I said, I'm going to bed, go into the hospital, call me when you're done.
I have to do that one because that one, a lot of guys and a lot of women, they, because of course we're talking about gun talk, so it may be women that may have several weapons on the side of the bed as well.
Yeah.
So I get it, and that's the great thing that you live in a state where you have your sidearm with you. That's the same thing like me here. Okay.
Right.
We walk around tooting every single day, so I don't. Okay, I don't, because I believe like this: if you live in a state where 99.999% of the people are tooting with their firearm, why would you need? No, you come at me, you can best believe something else is going to happen to you. Real simple, like.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not cool. I give you a scenario. I give you a factual situation that happened just the other day. We was watching the news and they were talking about something that happened in North Carolina. Okay. A man pulled out a gun inside a supermarket and tried to shoot another person over a turkey.
Over what?
Okay? Over a turkey. Okay. These two men. Now, here's the worst part. Both men are above 50 years of age.
Wow.
One pulled out a gun, the other one kept punching over a turkey. The other one that didn't have his weapon went to his vehicle, came back into the supermarket, started shooting.
Wow.
So again, this comes back to education and training and knowledge on why you should not do what you do. And I got to put my glasses back on because I'm starting to see a lot of chat in there.
Yeah,
I
would say it.
Like, no, okay, first thought they have to get past the dog. Howard, now we are both in the same ball game. Same thing like here. If they can get past the dogs, then you know what?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't have a dog anymore. We don't have a dog anymore, but I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the one thing I think, you know, dogs to me, having a pet like that or a dog or something, that's your first alarm system.
Well, this is true. This is true. This is true. And yet a lot of people buy the wrong dog, and that's a whole different topic and a whole different scenario that we could talk about if you wish. But a lot of people get the wrong dog.
That's when we do the dog talk show. That's you and Anthony.
Yeah, that you know after what we learned about you several months ago, yeah, we're gonna leave that for another segment.
But yeah, I don't but I honestly I think having a dog, when you start talking about your home and protecting your home and stuff like that, I think that is actually a good deterrence for someone to think twice about coming to someone's home, especially if you have a dog like you have Rottweilers and, you know, maybe a bigger dog that is, you know, more of a threatening looking dog. So I think that's the first scenario of, you know what I mean, where you might not never have to use that firearm because the dogs already is scaring half the people off.
Right.
Now
we have
if something was to happen and you hear fire go off and the dogs ain't barking no more, now you know.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
You know, unfortunately, something really went. Whoever, if you're willing to take someone's dog, that means you came to kill.
That's right, and there's no questioning. There's no questioning. There's no calling out. There's no asking.
If you're willing to kill someone's dog,
I'm going to put you down.
That means you already made the decision that you came to do damage, and at that point, it's game on. We are at war.
Absolutely. Forget war. No. We're not. It's not war. We're going to put you down. That's it. It's real simple, because it comes back again. If you live in a state where, like I think it was Howard said, it's a constitutional state, or a state that allows you to carry and protect your home because that's your constitutional right. If you come into the home, if a person comes into that home knowing there's a dog, knowing that that's a constitutional state, knowing that that state allows you to carry, you really just looking to be put in the ground. It's real simple. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about.
Pretty much.
You come into the house, you know that you're not supposed to be there. You're not invited. You don't know who's there, and you came in the house anyway. Yeah, you deserve to be put in the ground. It's real simple. Real simple.
You want to hear something funny though, Jay?
Go ahead.
Now, you know Pennsylvania is an open carry state, right?
Yes.
You know I rarely see people carry.
And I can understand why.
I mean, I can understand why. Like, listen, I don't like open. I agree with having open carry, but I don't like the open carry. Now, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
If for me, I don't like open carry because it tells people what you have, and if you're not paying attention, the wrong person, somebody got bad and had bad intentions, they might try to snatch your firearm because it's exposed. That's what I don't like about open carries, because if you're in the wrong place, let's say you're in a restaurant and you stand in line or something like that, and they see it, they can try to carry it, try to grab it and take it. That's why I like concealed carry. I don't conceal carry in the back. Go ahead.
Welcome, Mike Sports Bar. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you, brother. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, I don't like
you know, Ron,
I don't like the carry, like, you know, some people carry theirs in their back. I think that's the dumbest thing ever.
I saw in the news media several months ago this woman in one of the Carolinas,
right?
And she had hers, like you said, in her back, and this guy walked up behind her, and she had stuff in her hand. She's at the counter. She's about to pay for her stuff. The dude snatched it out of her back and ran out the door. Yeah,
see, right? That's why I don't everything is up front where you have to go. Mine is concealed up front for the most part. That's where I like to keep mine. Maybe not exactly up front, but as long as it's like with my side waist, I don't want nothing there. It's somewhere closer to my front. That's it. I don't know why people think it's okay to put in their back. That to me is not a good idea.
Listen, I like old school. I like keeping it right underneath my underarm.
Oh.
Because
so you got the joint, you got one of those
what was that? Pulp, I think it was Pulp Fiction. John Travolta had a double sack.
Yeah,
I got a double sack.
Okay, that's what's up. So I don't have I ordered. I don't know if you ever seen it before. I ordered that dumb shirt, that real tight shirt that has the pockets to hold them.
Yeah.
It's a t-shirt, but it's a concealed carry t-shirt where, well, I had to order. I ordered one.
Yes, yes.
I didn't really particularly care for it because it was kind of loose. I ordered a smaller one that's real tight, and it actually wasn't too bad to have. Problem is, it's not good for heavy guns.
It's not. It's not. It's definitely not.
It's not good. If you got a small little concealed carry gun, it's good for that. But it wasn't good for that.
And to piggyback off of that, the women, there's a woman that I was not physically introduced, but the wife showed me this woman that has a YouTube page. She talks about it as well, and she has, like you said, she has this one. I want to call it a leotard. It just looks like it holds her breast up and just wraps around her waist. And she sticks her 380 right inside there. You don't even see it. It gets concealed so wonderfully. She put on her blazer, her suit, her suit blazer, and she's able to reach and pull it out like if it was butter.
Yeah.
So when we come back to the understanding why these things are made is because you live in a state that you have to have it concealed, right?
Right.
I personally don't like concealed, and to me, I think concealed leaves too much room for error. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And
that's the downside to it.
Mike, talk to them. Well, listen, I'm going to answer your question. My go-to handgun is going to be a Desert Eagle, and as far as a shotgun goes concerned, Mark 203. As far as a rifle is concerned, I don't have a rifle, but if I had to choose one, I would definitely stay with the M16 over anything. I've never had a problem with an M16, and I don't care what anybody says. I'll take an M16 over any other rifle that's out there. That's just my 3 or 4.
What's my go-to handgun, shotgun? I'm a rifle fanatic. I'm an AR-15 fanatic. So I got handguns, but I'm not a real fan of them. Go ahead.
We got to stay away from the word GUN.
Okay. I'm gonna go with
it's making the AI go crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with probably. It depends on where I'm at. Like, if I had to deal with something coming in my house, then I'm gonna go straight. My first thing would be the shotgun.
Right.
That I would love to be able to get to my shotgun first. That's that. You know what I mean? That would be but if unfortunately, if you're dealing with a house that have tight and small corners, a handgun, in my opinion, will be your best option. But
yeah,
I don't know. I still would. It would be the shotgun.
Now, when we talk about shotguns, and I disagree with a Glock. I never did like Glocks. Glocks to me are too hazardous. They have too many fallbacks, regardless of how well you maintain them. I don't like the fact that the pin gets stuck. Not happening. I don't like that the magazine shifts. I don't like the spring inside there tends to wear down, and you don't even have to fire it much for the spring to break down. So it may be the designer behind it, but I haven't seen any Glock that would be beneficial to have. That's just my opinion. Okay. Anybody has one, you do what you want to do. Yet, if I was to say, as far as a weapon for the hands, I'm gonna definitely say is definitely old school, a Beretta, okay, Heckler and Koch. I would take Heckler and Koch over the Smith & Wesson anytime. And as far as the 22-inch barrel sitting inside the house, I'm gonna have to say definitely the Mossberg 203.
Okay.
Because I don't like breachers. Breachers are the ones that just have the pistol grip.
Okay.
When it has a pistol grip, that's too much kick on there. I need it to be here. And if I'm gonna breach, I need that here because I want to be able to push it along with the breach. So I don't like the pistol grips on them. I think they're a waste. If it has the quick handle on the front under the barrel, then we're golden as well too. And a lot of people don't understand that when you have that type of weapon in the house, like yourself and myself, the big mistake many people do is they keep it horizontal. You're not supposed to keep it horizontal. That's your mistake. You're supposed to keep it in a 45-degree angle. I'm not going to go any further because, of course, if someone breaks into someone's house and they got one, they better figure out how to do it. Never keep it horizontal. No weapon should be horizontal inside a home. Never.
No, I mean, of course, mine is on the wall, but
no, I mean, horizontal in the essence of.
I know I'm just messing with you.
You're doing a drill in your house or someone is in your home.
Right.
You don't ever keep it horizontal. You keep it a 45-degree angle. There's a reason for that.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, like I said, when I do scenarios in the house, I don't have nothing in my hand. It's just me, with my hand, kind of.
Right.
You know what I mean, I never take a weapon, actual. Yeah.
And it's funny how you said that because a lot of people do this.
Right.
When they're walking through the house.
Right.
That is the worst thing
me, to do. I'm more like, kind of like how you see police officers do when they clean a room. You rarely see them. You want to keep it down because you don't want to accidentally shoot nobody.
Right, and you don't want to shoot yourself.
Right. If it's straight down, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot.
And if it's straight up, you're going to hit yourself in the foot.
Right.
Okay.
So the best thing that 45-degree angle,
you're going to get hit left and right.
So that 45-degree angle is safe. It's the safe spot.
Much more safer, yes.
Won't hit your foot, just in case.
Hey, if you hit your foot at a 45-degree angle, you got to go back to school to learn
how to use it. You got some big feet, bro.
Yeah, that too.
You got
shot. I had
an
over/under 410 and 22 cal. Love their piece. My rabbit and squirrel gun. I can see the 22 for that.
Yeah,
I can see the 22 for that. Definitely squirrel. Yep, nice hunting. Red dot.
Yeah, like if in the scenario with me, like as much as I love that 458 SOCOM, that would be the worst thing I could use in my home defense because it goes through stuff.
Yeah. That's almost like that. That's similar to having what I have in the house as well. Because if 3 rounds come out, there's nothing standing there no more.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that it goes. It'll go through a lot of stuff. It'll go through stuff, and it because it's such a fat bullet,
right?
And it that's why I love shooting, but if I had, that would be my last go-to. If I'm like, okay, I'd rather have the shotgun, even though don't get me wrong, shotguns take chunks out of things, but it just like I said, it don't have that distance where it's going to just keep going and going and going and going.
Well, that's why you always have the rifle because you're going to go after distance. Now,
well, if I had to, yeah.
Now we're talking about between home defense and distance. Yeah, I mean those are 2 different topics, right. and figuring out which is the better for the home. I would say rifles are not one for the home. Okay, for home protection, you should not use a rifle because, like you said a moment ago, you're going to spend more when you pull that trigger. You're going to spend more than what you're trying to hit. And that's going to be a waste. Same thing like certain pistols. certain pistols, and next thing you know, you pull that trigger and you just unloading and you're not hitting nothing.
Not hitting nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of when they put those things on them guns, like them switches and stuff. I just think.
Listen, it's all for show, and those that have it, they definitely don't know what they're doing. That's why they put it there, because it's just, oh, I'm a badass. You ain't a badass. Right. A badass is one shot, one kill. That's it. That's a badass.
You don't go through a whole bunch of rounds.
400 meters out. Right. That's a badass.
You don't go through a whole bunch of rounds to hit a target. Now, don't get me wrong. I still won all these rounds because I don't know how many targets I got to hit.
True.
But I don't like I said, if this again, it goes back to practice, training,
yes.
Going to the range, sighting your gun in, making sure everything is sighted in and stuff like that. And this is how I remember talking to someone and they were saying, like, what would you do if somebody walked up on you and they had their gun out? And what would you do? Like, if you don't have a chance to get to your gun, I said, I'm not saying that everybody that pulls out a gun is not willing to kill you. I said, but sometimes you can look at what they have in their hand if you're familiar with firearms enough to know. If I look at you and you got a pistol in your hand and I notice that the safety is still on, especially if you got a safety that's, then I know you don't know what you're doing, or you really don't have you're not ready to really kill somebody, but you're trying to rob them or whatever. Now, that click down gives me a brief moment that I can react and probably try to fight you off if that's the case.
Right.
If I don't have anything.
Right.
And that's the one thing you can notice. Now, again, you can't always see down the barrel of a gun, but sometimes you can look down the barrel of a gun and realize there's nothing in the chamber.
This is also true. Sometimes.
Which means you got 2 steps.
This is true.
To be able to, right. That puts me in the fight. Right. So it's like, okay, I don't see nothing in the barrel, and you never took the safety off, and you're pointing it at me. Now now I can fight. Now here's the thing: if I can get my hand,
I got a third one for you. Go ahead. Right.
If I can get my hand on the front of that gun before you can do anything, it's over with at that point. Because once I grab the front, especially if I know you got a pistol, because what most people don't know about pistols is if you grab the barrel of that and you shift that, when you cock a gun back, if you just shift it a little more than 1/8 of an inch, the gun will not fire.
Yep.
So as long as you grab it and you shift your hand like that a little bit, that gun, no matter if they hand on that trigger or not, it will not fire. The other thing is you have the leverage more than the person holding the barrel.
This is also true.
You have the leverage. So if you grab it tight enough and you go like this, if it's in their hand, you can disarm that person. People don't realize that, but those are things that if you're in a situation where you may not have nothing, but if you educated enough on firearms to kind of know if they got a revolver, that's a different story. But if they have a pistol, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different with the revolver than it is with a pistol. But if they have, because revolvers, even though you might get the leverage, it's not going to stop it from being able to fire. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's the whole, like, if you shift it or not. But a lot of people don't realize it. If you shift that barrel, when you go to shift, you know how you rack your gun. If you just shift that a little bit, it don't take much. It only take almost 1/8 of an inch, and that's it. It will not fire. Yeah, not even 1/8, really. I'm just giving a roundabout measurement.
It's because the actual the shifting of it, the weapon believes it's trying to bring another shell. I'm just trying to find the right words because certain words AI doesn't want us to say. So if you shift it that right way, like you're describing it, the weapon believes that it needs to re-enter the chamber, even though there's one there. So that's where that jam comes in.
Right.
And it does help. And that's an old school trick what Trump is talking about. And as far as Howard, I've done that. I've done washing machines, refrigerators when I was a kid growing up. And it's a blast, literally. And staying in the fight, yes. And you have to practice with the weapon, yes. But the finger between the hammer, it takes a lot of training to do that. The easiest, I think, okay, and this is just my opinion, I think the easiest thing is that if someone walks up to you with their weapon drawn out, look at how they're standing and what direction the weapon is in. A lot of times, like the sandwich, I call it a sandwich draw, okay? This is the way it should be, but this is the way it looks. You do this, I'm going to take a chance of it hitting me lower than hitting me up above. And then it's going to be on, because then it's a whole different ball game. And 9 out of 10, if you just smack it in the opposite, in the direction of your elbow,
right?
Again, this is why it comes back to training, and it comes back to understanding the weapons and what they're capable of doing.
Right.
And again, if you happen to be that type of person that walks up to another person and you're in a state where you have the right to carry, you need to get put into the ground quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're just looking for it. You know, unfortunately down here,
a lot of these stupid people like that, this is what they really don't understand. Most people that carry firearms are good people that carry firearms. And if they see you trying to do something to someone innocently,
right,
you don't just have to deal with the person you're dealing with. If they happen to see it, the good guy with the gun is going to handle you. So you'll probably be facing 5 guns with your one gun because everybody else is not having it. You know what I mean? It's like you walking back in the day, you know, guy walking to a bar trying to ride the bar and come in there with one gun, and everybody turn around with theirs. Like, well, no, I was just joking. I just want to see what y'all was gonna do.
Yeah, well, this is what we're gonna do. Boom, 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 boom. Because you stupid, we're not gonna let you do that no more.
But yeah,
so that actually happened.
Huh?
I mean, several months ago, that actually happened. A person was in a McDonald's, and the employee went to kill. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. They went to unalive the manager, and the patron fired a shot, and that's what stopped the person from doing additional damage.
Wow. So
what you're saying is true, and it's unfortunate that we live in a society that people purchase firearms and weapons without really taking the knowledge behind it on how to utilize it and what's really best for them. Right. You can purchase a weapon, that's your right. Yet are you actually trained with that weapon? Because I've seen it before. People buy certain weapons and think they can actually do things with it, and it's like the weapon overtakes you because you're not ready for it.
What's up,
Mr. Movie Star, Ant Like the Bug, Mr. Movie Star, thank you very much for joining us. And by the way, everybody who's watching, listening, please hit the like button. And of course, subscribe to the channels that you see, because at the end of the day, the content won't be able to come on if we're not getting a lot of likes and we're not getting subscribers to actually have these conversations. So please subscribe to both channels. And, let's keep this going.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
I don't know why I'm not seeing the banners up there. Can you see the banners?
I see the banner.
Oh,
Yoji
okay. Maybe
Network.
me.
But it's not on. It's definitely on both. In horizontal, it's at the bottom, and vertical, it's on the top.
Oh, okay, I didn't see them. That's all. We good.
We good. I see them.
Yeah,
I got a fourth camera going.
So me and Jay was. I had sent. We were talking before we got on live. And I want to ask y'all, for those that are in the chat right now, there was something that we was looking at behind the scenes, and we're gonna talk about drones.
I know.
It was something that I came across, and let's just say somebody's flying a drone around your house. And I'm not saying you need to. I'm just saying somebody's flying a drone around your house and you want to take the drone and you want to get that drone out. You want to shoot the drone down.
Okay.
I mean, I know you can't, there's issues with that. But that was the reason why I looked at when we was talking about that part And for the, I
Right.
think it's for AR. I'm not too sure, but when you get a chance, Jay, bring it up and then we can talk about it.
I got you.
I'll bring it on the screen.
I got you.
But we was I just wanted. I don't know if anybody ever seen one of these before. Hold on one second. Jay just brought it up. All right. Yeah. Well, it will let me. Will it let me work this, or do you have to do it?
No, you should be able to work it.
Yeah, let me see something.
If not, I'll work it. No worries.
Yeah. Because it's not letting me stroll.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, you got it. All right. So making every shot count. And
right.
I wanted to show y'all this because I think this is a scope, right? That you put on your gun.
Yep, it's a scope that you put on there.
All right, so it's called Smart Shooter, and this is what I want. It kind of was intriguing to me, so I figured I wanted to show this up. See what y'all think about this. All right, so you mount it on your rifle. You select the target. It tracks the target for you. When it says it'll lock, and even when when the target moves.
Yep.
Once locked, pull the trigger, smash, and smash. And smash will do the rest, making sure you hit the target.
Yep.
Now, I don't know how much that thing costs, and this is not, we're trying to promote. I just wanted to bring this thing up because I kind of felt, in my opinion, I found it to be kind of unique. And I wanted to talk about it. Well, what'd you think, Jay?
Well, based off of the minimal information that I've scanned through once you presented it to me,
right?
I gotta say, in my bestest English, it's a piece of shit.
Go ahead.
And the reason why I say that is because of this. If you ever been skeet shooting, skeet shooting is pretty much the same thing what that device is doing. All it's doing is making it easier for you to fire the weapon. Yet, if you saw what it said on step 4 says that SMASH, which is the acronym for that device, says you pull the trigger and it automatically does the firing for you, hitting the target that's moving. So you're not really doing anything.
Yeah. You're pulling the trigger, but it's not going to fire until it's on target. Now, here's the thing. I seen this on phone is buffering. That's your phone, ain't us. Yep. But I seen this in another company that made something similar, right?
Right.
But it's funny you say that because when I really started to deep dive into it, it only improved the accuracy about 30% beyond you.
And that's, there's a reason again why I said it's stupid, because if it's only 30%, why are you going to spend over $500 for a device that automatically, when you train and you learn how to use a scope, you don't need automatic targeting on a handheld weapon. Automatic targeting is supposed to be for a stationary weapon that you have no control for, and or that you are at least a meter away from that weapon so that you can go retrieve it very quickly.
So Howard said he does a lot of skeet shooting. I've never done it.
Skeet shooting is so much fun. It is disgusting. And you talk about learning how to hit targets that are moving. Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect example of why that is needed, is because of that standard, that standalone weapon, that smart shooter. Yeah. That's what they're talking about.
Right.
This is something that the military has had for well over
years.
20 years.
Right. So they finally say, let the civilians have it.
Right. Which comes back now. You may remember the other day you and I was talking about this, how we are supposed to have the privilege to purchase and find any weapon that we want.
Right.
Against government tyranny.
Right.
That's what you talked about.
Right.
And I had mentioned to you that whatever it is that we're trying to get, the government already said
They
it's
done with
it.
They already done with it.
And here's a perfect example.
Right.
This is a perfect example of how this device is obsolete to the government. So
right.
those that go out and purchase it, listen, that's on you. Great. You know, it comes back to, like I said, at the end of the day, like Howard said, if you get into skeet shooting, you listen, whether it's a red dot, green dot, flashlight, 9 out of 10, you're not even going to need it anymore because you already know how the sights on your weapon works for you and how to hit that moving target.
Why they got to call it skeet shooting though?
Because of the clay. It's a clay disc, and that's what it was named.
Well,
I got where you're going with that one. Skeet, 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 skeet. Skeet it out, baby. Yeah, baby.
I don't know what it is about us. You can tell when men name stuff, especially like when you're doing plumbing.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about that one.
You got ball cock. 12-inch nipple, 1/4-inch nipples.
You know what'd be the worst part?
Yeah.
If it was a woman that designed those names.
Oh man, that'd be even hilarious.
Yeah, man. Clay pigeon.
I remember me and Anthony when we, little side story. We worked at Home Depot, and it was a black lady that used to work with Anthony in the plumbing department. And somebody was asking Anthony something, but he was telling them to go ask her because he didn't know what they were looking for. He was telling him to go ask the lady because she worked in plumbing.
Right.
And the guy was like, I can't go ask her. He was like, why? He said, because I'm looking for 3/4-inch black nipples. He said, so I don't know how to ask. Because she was a black lady. He's like, I don't want to ask her that.
They might get offended. Yeah, that's understandable.
No, just a little bit of humor. They help when I hunt duck and
pheasants.
Where you live at?
Listen, pheasants. Oh, that's a real.
You must be down south. I'm assuming Howard somewhere down south.
Well, they got to be west of me because I don't recall ever seeing no damn pheasants by me.
Yeah, I don't know people to use the word peasant, so Iowa.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Iowa.
I was way off.
Way off. That makes sense. But it's always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you, Howard.
Yes, we everybody needs to hear things like this, and this is our first episode, and we're probably going to have a whole lot more. And we agree with you, Howard. These are the conversations that need to be put out there. So those that understand why we're doing it, because a lot of times it's not that a person just doesn't know. It's more because a person is just not educated enough or afraid to learn how to protect themselves with these tens of toys that we tend to purchase just because.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question.
I'm probably going to end up buying that thing, Jay.
I think you're right, and I believe you will do it. I mean, again, for the price, it'd be really, really naive of you not to do it because of the price. Honestly, okay. Yeah. Just to have it, I would say put it inside a safe with a fingerprint reader. That's what I would suggest, because those two are really not what you need in the home. Honestly.
All right. Now, when you say, all right, fingerprint reader,
no,
right?
Thank you, Anthony, for joining. Thank you very much.
All right, so I got a question for y'all because I'm gonna be honest with you. I am adamant about these, and I won't buy them. When it comes to firearm safes, okay, I don't want the ones with the keypad, the code, and I don't want the ones that take fingerprints.
Okay.
The only one I want is to take a key, and that's it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm explaining to you what happened with this.
Go ahead.
All right, I forget what the politician's name was, but they went there to raid his house.
Okay.
They wanted to get into his gun safe. So the FBI called the safe company and got all the information and had them open it up from the inside of, from the gun place. They was able to get the code and go bypass all of that and get into the man's safe.
Right.
Now I'm like, just based off a phone call.
Right.
I didn't like that.
I could understand that.
Right. So it's like once I seen that and it just triggered me like, all right, I don't want nothing that if it ain't got a key, I don't want it. All I want is the one with a key. Then I got to the point where I said, I'm gonna have to build my own.
See, now with that story, the problem is that he had a safe that was connected to a third-party company, which that's mistake number one right there.
Right. Yeah, I'm just like,
your safe where you have your weapons should not have any third-party anything.
Nope.
It should not, because that means someone else knows when it opens, when it closes, and knows how to access it. That's problem number one right there. I disagree with the key part because in the moment of a rush in a situation, by the time you go look for the key, if you have it at one single place, that's fine. It still leaves room for error.
Right.
Because the minute that you're juggling that key to open, it could be too late. Because remember, every second counts. So the fingerprint reader, to me, the fingerprint reader seems to be the better option over all of them. Because if you misplace the key, that's one too many seconds you have to fight with it. If the key gets lost, that's one too many seconds to fight with it. If the key gets jammed because you're panicking and it snaps, again, too much room for error. Digital, I despise digital because again, that means that the keypad can always
remember what code was it?
Exactly. And or if someone does come in, there's a way to actually and look at what your fingerprint has left.
Now here's the thing.
It can be done the same way with the fingerprint because they on the fingerprint, but you have to be able to match it.
Yeah.
That's where the key is at. The key is the match. It's not so much you can see it, it's matching it.
Right.
So now, if you're in a situation where you press and go, like for example, your cell phone, many people use the fingerprint reader on their cell phone to open the phone and close it. And that just happens within a split second. So the same thing with a gun safe is much more wiser that route than a keypad, or third-party entity that's actually monitoring your toys.
Now, for me, I don't. If I'm home, it ain't locked.
Well,
and that's the reason why when I leave the house, everything's locked up. Because then I'm leaving the home. But when I come home, after I open that front door.
Now, I could understand that. And to me, that right there, unfortunately for me, that is improper technique.
Yeah, I get it. But it's just me. It ain't,
I get why you're doing it. Yeah. I get why you're doing it. Yet for me, that's an improper technique.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna give you a scenario.
Go ahead.
I knew a guy in New Jersey.
Right.
And this is where he made the mistake. And just hear me out. I'm not saying that you do this.
No,
not trying to negate anything you do. I'm just gonna give you what happened to this fella.
Right.
This fella had a 6-foot tall safe. Okay.
All right.
And he had all his toys inside it. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. May you have many, many, many good times like that.
Yes.
And have lots of fun. This guy had a 6-foot safe, 6-foot by 3-foot safe.
Okay.
So you could right there, you could tell there was a lot of toys inside there.
Mm-hmm.
He had it bolted to his house. The wall, the floor. One day he went out to go to work. He came back home and it was gone. The wall was broken. The floor was cut out. and the 6 foot by 3 foot box was gone.
They really wanted that box.
Yep, really wanted it. And he was angry. And he called all of us up because, of course, we were all grouped up together. He called us all up. We came over there and a whole big old thing. And what made matters worse is that he was in law enforcement. So that made the matters even more worse. And I asked the simplest question. I said, how many people did you let in your house in the past week? He said, I just the regular people. I said, okay. So go to their house and find out where they're at. You'll probably find the box in the basement.
Yep.
He said, no, ain't nothing stupid like that. I said, yeah, there is.
That's exactly who it was. Somebody you know.
Exactly. So, I think the best thing, and again, this is my opinion, never, ever, ever let anyone see what your toys are. Never let them see where it's at. Never see where they're stored. Never see the room that they're at. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Because you don't know the intention of a person who's visiting. That's what I'm saying.
Thank God I don't no visitors.
Well, that's good. That's good. Because at the end of the day, it's like I say, on my land, you come listen. You better know how to hop, skip, and skip. Because that's the first thing you got to come across. A whole lot of stuff in the ground is gonna go boom, boom, boom. And if you step wrong, it'd be like the movie Sisu. Well, how many you got in there? All of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I know people's safety is going to vary from where you live, how you live. So that's always going to be some variations in that. And like
but a person can't show off. You're right, Ant. You shouldn't show off.
Yeah, you shouldn't show off. Like for me, it's like I don't. The only people that know where my stuff is at, the people that live in this house.
That's the way it should be.
Right. And I don't and I don't get a whole lot of visitors like that anyway. But the only people that knows that now, or is if you're an extremely close relative that you already know the drill if something really serious happened. You know what I mean? Where
right.
You understand the drill. We've already talked. We have a contingency plan if things really was to go crazy. But outside of that, no one knows. I keep everything once I walk out my door, everything's locked up. That's just me. And like I said, it's going to vary from person to person. So I don't disagree with you at all. I just think, it's like we were talking about having kids.
Right.
Grandkids, kids in your house. You have to your whole. If you live with just if you're a single person, you live by yourself, that's different than if you live with somebody. And then when you start adding kids into that, then the whole dynamics of that's going to change too, or how you handle your firearms. It should change. Right. How you store your firearms, what you keep around you, what.
I got a question for you. And of course, for those that are in the chat room and those that are eventually going to come back and watch the show and watch the replay, they could all. But I have a question for everyone. What is your take, or do you believe? Because Ron's opinion doesn't matter. This question may actually make it matter. So, what do you believe that a person who wishes to get a firearm should have a psychological evaluation of themselves before purchasing a firearm?
Me personally, no.
Okay.
I want to agree with that. I'm gonna tell you why I want to agree with that. All right. Okay. I want to agree with that, and I understand where you're going, and I do agree, but I'm explaining to you why I don't.
Go ahead.
All right. If it was okay, I agree with you, and I agree with why you're saying it. But this is why I don't. And it always goes back to I don't trust politicians and I don't trust government because the minute you put that there, what started out, in my opinion, is going to start out as an inch. They're going to weaponize of it, and next thing you know, everybody's going to have mental issues. Everybody's going to be unqualified. Everybody, you get what I'm saying? They're just going to make it to where that's why, as much as I agree with you, that's the part of it that makes me say, no matter how much I agree with you, Jay, I'm still going to say no.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense. Now here's where it gets really, and that's a good question. Who's the judge?
Right.
The thing is this. If we look at, and I could tell you this from experience because I know, or knew rather,
right.
I knew a person who was completely 100% mentally unstable.
Right.
Became a police officer only because they knew that becoming a police officer, they would get a weapon, firearm, and they themselves now feel powerful because of said weapon. This person was removed from the police department 3 different times. Now, how it was 3 different times? Because they went from one department to another department to another department, but all in law enforcement. And they were removed 6 months after because they felt by having that weapon, in a sense of power.
Empowerment.
Yes. And now that is where I feel that a psychological evaluation should be done on a person that wants to obtain one, because obtaining that kind of weapon just for empowerment is the wrong reason to get one, because now you're not getting it for protection.
Right. No, listen, that's why I said I agree with you.
Now yeah, and I get that what you're saying. Now here's the thing. It doesn't have to be done where the government knows about it. Right. Because you can go, because again, just try to understand something. If you go to your own psychologist, the psychologist cannot tell anybody what he or she has heard. Right. It's called patient confidentiality.
Right.
Now, there's a clause behind that. The clause is that if the professional, which is the psychologist, feels that the person, their client, break the confidentiality and report it. So that's where it comes into key, where for me, I think it should be done.
Right. That's the thing. That's why like I said, there's a part of me that that's why I said I agree with you, but because I know how, because of my thought power as it relates to government, my thing is this, is that, all right, so there are times that you heard me on my live and someone would get on there and say, this is how you know I agree with you. They'll say, well, gun violence, right?
Right.
They'll keep talking about gun violence and, well, all people who want guns wants to kill people. And I would turn around and say to them that if you think guns is for killing people, then you should never own a firearm. I always tell people in my lives, then you should never, if the first thing that comes to your head when you see a firearm or pick up a firearm, and it's the same thing I say about people who say gun violence. I say the problem with y'all is y'all equating two together, violence and guns. Guns don't have personalities to be violent. Guns don't have the ability to be violent. People are violent. I say guns is just one of the things they use to inflict violence on other people. I said, so if you're on my live and you come in here and the first thing you want to do is say guns are for killing people, you should never have a firearm. Why? Because you already think that that's the intent behind having a gun, is to kill people. I said, I don't think that way. I never think that way. I don't pick up a firearm and be like, oh, I want to try to kill somebody. I want to try to hurt somebody. I said, I never think that way.
Right.
So that's why I said, I agree with you, because I think that there are people that are not mentally capable, and there's a lot of them that are not mentally capable that should own a firearm. I agree. The only flip side to that is the minute you give them people that want to do everything they can do to try to disarm people.
That's correct.
Next thing you know, Jay, they're gonna say you got mental problems, so we need your firearms. I'm gonna have mental problems. They're gonna need my firearms. All of the normal people, they're gonna try to go after them and say and use everybody got a mental problem, so they need their firearm.
No, I get what you're saying. I do, and the AI is trying to figure out what we're talking about.
Listen, I agree with you. Listen, I can tell by the people that be on my lives and they don't even realize what they're saying, because me and you've been talking on this live for well over an hour. We never talked about hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about hurting people. We talk about if people come to hurt you.
Right.
We never talked about hurting somebody. We talk about if people come to hurt you. Now, here's the thing.
Right.
In my opinion, people that own dogs are deterrents to keep people from hurting you. You're actually saving some people's lives, hopefully, by saying, look, I'm not an easy victim. Now, again, if you have dogs and someone say, you know what, you got to get through my dogs to get to me.
Right.
To me, that's more of a deterrence to discourage people from doing something.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's going to work 100%, but it will discourage people to say, you know what, even I'm going to have to go find an easier victim. Again, I personally don't think everybody should have firearms. Do I want to put that responsibility in the government's hand to give them any type of room to try to disarm people? That's where me is like, do I want to sacrifice?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
I want to sacrifice this.
No, I get what you're saying. Now, also with that, let me piggyback. Going on, because a professional in the doctorate field of psychology is going to advise law enforcement, not the government. Now, the law enforcement will go and handle that situation. They too don't have the right to remove the weapon, just because they have to have a legitimate reason too. Because one of the biggest cases in that I can think of was what was the guy's name that had that ranch over in Waco, Texas?
Oh, I know you're talking about.
The government to come and get him because the locals couldn't deal with him. It took the feds to come get him. So I get what you're saying, okay? Yet it still comes down to the level of danger that was posed with said weapons. And this is where it comes in. And I want to piggyback off of something you said a moment ago, which is gun control, right?
Right.
Gun control is designed to hinder the law-abiding citizen. That's what gun control is.
Yep.
Okay? Because we all know the criminals are getting more weapons than law-abiding citizens are. And we talked about this as well very briefly as far as the actual bullets. Okay? So when we talk about situations like that, and they talk about gun control, I had up north, I had asked many politicians this one simplified question. If a cell phone has a GPS tracker in it, why don't you govern the manufacturer behind the weapon to put a GPS tracker in there? If you're so concerned about gun control, you want to control the gun. That's what gun control is all about. It's not about who gets it. It's about the gun. That's why it's called gun control, not person control. So put a GPS inside the weapon. Oh, we can't do that. Can't do that. Why? Because the NRA went ballistic. Every constitutional right individual said, you're not going to follow what I'm doing, because now that leads to government tyranny, like you, and how I agree with you.
Right.
So when you talk about gun control, really think about what you're talking about when you talk about gun control. You're not. Listen, that's why now, or recently, they have now altered the ruling behind who can and who cannot obtain or carry the weapon, because they realize you cannot hinder even that now has become a very, very big soft topic for government. And they realize they can't do it. That's why they had that stipulation. They had that threshold, or that level of saying you can, you cannot. But when we talk about gun control is to hinder the law-abiding citizen. That's why somebody say, listen, one more thing before I forget. I knew a cop in New Jersey. He just became, this is why I asked your friend the other day that question. And I'm gonna ask him the same thing. Whenever I get to talk to him again. I had a buddy of mine, a neighbor. He had just became a corrections officer. They turned around and told him in his training that if someone broke in his house, this is in the state of New Jersey, and he's a law officer because he works for corrections. They said if someone breaks into your house, you do not have the right to utilize your firearm on that person.
And if you follow that, you're a fool.
Listen, you know what I told him?
So
he said, Jay, Jay, I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they even put that in there. Why? And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told hundreds of NYPD officers. Okay? And this is where the slippery slope comes in. Okay? They don't want you to utilize that firearm because they're under the impression that when you use the firearm, you're going to unalive the person. I said, okay, so here's
I'm on StreamYard. Stop buffering.
I think it's because of certain words we use in the AI is trying to figure it out. So he laughed. He said, Jay, are you serious? I said, I'm damn serious. I told the same thing to hundreds of NYPD officers. If someone breaks into your house, don't hit above the waist, hit below the knee. The knee, the shin, the foot. Because the person is just hindered now. It's the same thing like if you took a baseball bat and you busted them in the kneecap. Same thing. You cannot get in trouble for that. So he laughed.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
He laughed, and he went back to the superiors and asked, and they said, "Well, there's nothing in the policy that doesn't say that."
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not listening. My thing is this: if someone comes in my home without permission, I don't care how much trouble I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna survive the moment is what I'm worrying about. I don't care nothing about all that y'all talking. Because here's the thing. You just told me you just said out of your mouth, you don't give a darn about my life. You care more about the criminal that come in my house.
Right.
So we will fight this, even if I had to fight it up to a Supreme Court. We're going to fight this in court because there is nowhere in the world that I'm going to let you put me at the mercy of someone coming in my house. And I'm listen, they're coming in my house, and this is what I'm thinking about. I don't want to shoot them and kill them because I don't want to get in trouble. No, y'all can take this job and shove it up your behind. I'm trying to live. I mean, like, your mind, like, what?
Because I remember many years ago, a psychological evaluation had to be done just to become a police officer. I haven't heard that anyone's doing that anymore. Okay.
I think my buddy had to do it. When I talked to him, he was like, because he told me, he said, man, they put you through a whole lot to become a police officer. I'm gonna say in the city of Philadelphia. Now you know that's gonna change depending on each police department. We know that they have all of them had different standards and stuff, but he was just like, man, they made him study all this stuff, the Constitution. He said, I didn't realize the people really have all the rights. He said the cops don't have no rights. He said the people do.
And
he was giving me examples and stuff. And I said, yeah, that's why I always tell people, the first thing you better understand is when they come, shut up. Stop talking. Stop running your mouth.
Yes.
That's where you get in trouble, is because you start doing this. You know what I mean? The right to remain silent is a reason why they're telling you that. And then right after that, they're saying, because anything you say can and will be used. I ain't talking to you. What you want to talk? No.
And that's exactly right. And that's where a lot of people make that mistake, because they open their mouth. And usually when they open their mouth is because you're in a bad state and you're trying to divert and you're trying to make a smoke cloud. That just makes the matters worse. It gives them more fire, to dive deep into what you're doing. Now, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
What do you believe as far as a woman? Let's say a woman between the ages of 25 and 45 should carry.
25 and 45?
Yeah.
A crock pot. No, I'm joking. No, it's kidding around. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had this question thrown at me quite a few times, and I still go back to the same gun, which is that Smith & Wesson Shield.
Okay.
Or the Shield Plus. No, I would say the Shield. I mean, preferably probably 380, maybe not the 9mm, but it don't really. The 380. Only because, especially if you're an inexperienced person and you're really trying to get your hands on your first maybe firearm and learn from it.
Right.
My only reason, I'm not saying that this is my only reason is because the safety, the slide is so much easier with it. There's the fact that they have that indicator on the top of it that if there's something in the chamber, it lets you know there's something. If there's something in the chamber of it, there, the top part humps up.
Right.
So it lets you know that there's something, there's a bullet in the chamber.
Right.
Depending on which one you get, they have the glow in the dark sights, meaning that if in the nighttime, the sights you can see on your side, but the person looking at you can't see the sights.
Right. Right.
And like I said, the fact that it's easy to rack, it's not real small, but it's not real bulky at the same time. And then it was another reason why I liked that gun. And the fact that it's easy to load. Like the clips has a spring, little side thing, a little red thing, a spring.
Yeah.
So it's easy to load. So that would be that would probably be the handgun that I would tell them to get if there was a gun that I would say is that particular gun. I think that whoever designed that gun. And then the other thing is if you have the one that have the safety handle,
right,
it actually forces you to somewhat be a better shooter because it makes you have to squeeze that grip tighter.
Yeah.
In order for it to fire. So that's the gun that I always kind of go to if it was for a female that, like you said, between the age of 20, 25 to 45, any female in general, that's always the one that I recommend if they ask. Well, and as you can see,
here we are with the statement of this is why Ron's opinion does matter. Okay? Because I agree with you wholeheartedly on that weapon. Wholeheartedly. I believe for the same reasons. It's much beneficial, it's easier to handle, and it packs a serious punch.
Right.
Okay. And that's the biggest thing because as much feet per second, that's the main thing, is feet per second that round actually causes damage in the FPS, which is feet per second, is much more better than any other handheld out there for a woman. Okay. Now, here's another one right before we get ready to finish up.
Yeah.
Flashlight, red dot, green dot. Which of the three?
On a handgun?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have no sights. I don't have no red dots or green dots on none of my handgun. The only thing I would prefer to have personally is the flashlight.
Why?
Just for the tactical, the light blinding aspect of it. That's it. Outside of that, because if you notice, that one has a flashlight on it.
Yes.
But it also, that scope on there actually has a red dot and a red dot, green dot switch. It doesn't, It's not an actual scope. It's just a red dot and a green dot. I don't like it.
Okay.
I'd rather have a scope that I can zoom in. But it's kind of, for me, I'm not saying it, because I know everybody had their preferences and stuff like that. But for me, I kind of just, I think, and then the funny thing is, I have no flashlight on my firearm, like my handguns. I always meant to get one, but I have no flashlights, on my firearms. I don't really care about the beam. That's like the beam on it. That's irrelevant. I really don't care for them. So it would be more of the flashlight. That would be the one thing I would prefer to have on my gun is the flashlight. The scope situation, I'm so used to using the sights that are already made on the gun that it probably wouldn't even matter to me at this point, because I've never actually had that extra scope red dot on there. But that's just me. I mean,
well, as for me, I disagree with a flashlight.
Okay.
And I disagree with any beam on it. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, on a handgun, and I'll tell you why. Several people that I knew in the past and myself, we used to do one thing. We used to practice hitting flashlights.
Okay.
So that kind of tells you why I don't like the flashlight.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. The flashlight is for finding purposes, but unfortunately, people tend to utilize the flashlight on the weapon, and they're holding it in the wrong place. So if you aim at the flashlight, 9 out of 10, you're going to hit the person.
Right. And that's the downside to the flashlight. It's going to give up, especially in a dark place, it's going to give up your position.
And
so I get it. Yeah, it's going to give up your position. But that's why I said if it was anything on there, it would probably just be a flashlight. And I'm going to be honest with you. The flashlight that's on here, you know when it came in handy? When I actually needed a flashlight.
Now, I tell you something else. I'll tell you a trick. And unfortunately, now, anybody listening, anybody watching, they're going to try this trick. And if it works for them, I'm sure they're going to keep it. Almost every flashlight has an SOS beacon in it.
Yeah.
So all it does is this, right? It's very hard to hit a moving target. Okay? So if you know anything about flashlights and this is happening, you better know what you're doing when you're going to hit the target, because there's a reason why it's doing this. This is the only benefit by having a flashlight on any weapon. That's it.
Yeah, that's what that does.
That's a beautiful thing.
It does this. It does to keep flashing.
That's
right.
That's exactly what it's exactly designed to do. It's not supposed to do this.
You can make it do that. You can make it do that, but it has two, like the one that you actually use, it's rapid.
Right.
But there is another one that you can click if you just need a flashlight.
That's and that's what I'm talking about. Right. Most people that have it, they want to do this. That's the wrong thing to do. Yeah. This is what it's supposed to do. I'm just saying. So
right. Yeah, I get that. Like I said, one that I have. Huh?
I said for those listening and those watching, now they have a trick to think about.
Yeah, so I don't like I said, I don't even have none on none of my firearms. Like I mean on that, yeah, but my handguns, I don't have neither one. I just have that came on there, and I don't have no flashlights on there. But that's why I said if it was something I would put on there to add to it, it would probably just be the flash, the tactical flashlight, which is I'll just wait till daylight.
Now I agree with the red dot. I agree with the red dot over the green dot.
Right.
And the red dot is more intimidating versus the green dot. I'm just saying. Okay, give me 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking for. 5 minutes. My Rottweiler's looking at me and telling, "Yo, get the fuck off! It's time." 5 minutes. Can I have 5 minutes? 5 minutes, please. Yes. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Everybody doing us a favor and please hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button, hit the share button, whether you like the content or not. Hit the share button.
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe button.
Yes. We're getting ready to get out of here. But listen, y'all, before we get ready to go, there's a 30-second commercial that we want y'all to look at before we get up out of here. So y'all just hang around, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's a 30-second commercial, and we want y'all to look at because y'all might just need some of this stuff. Their hair care, skincare product. Y'all know what I'm talking about. For those that don't know, stick around. Check out the commercial. We out of here. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. Peace. All right, my brother.
All right, brother Ron. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Fellas, ladies, you're looking for lotions, you're looking for beard oils, but unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.